Hi, I'm Mindy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my TBR for November, which is going to be books I'm reading for all of the readathons. I have a couple of readathons that are in progress that I've already been working on, and then I'm adding a few more in for November because that's just the way I like things, I guess. I love readathons, so... And I have, I think, only one book that does not attach directly to one of the readathons. So I'll go ahead and tell you about that one first. I will be trying to listen to Insomnia by Stephen King for our Stephen King read-along, hosted by Fiber Artsy on Brad Proctor's Discord channel. It's a 25-hour audiobook, so that will probably take a while, but looking forward to it. Okay, so now I'll tell you about the couple of readathons that I am currently working on that are continuing into November. And the first one is Halloween-a-thon, which started in the middle of September and goes to the middle of November. I have one book left for that. That one is hosted by Paul's Books and Movies, and my one prompt left is the November prompt to read a new to you author. And for that, I'm actually reading an arc, my only arc for November, and that is The Gravity of Existence by Christina Singh, which is a book of horror poetry. And I haven't read anything by this author before, but I have heard good things about her horror poetry, so I'm looking forward to it. Next, I am in the middle of working on my Path of the Dark challenge for Indie Accords Discord, which was started by Lauren Lullabies, and it looks like I'm only going to be able to finish 2 of the books in October. So I'm going to try to read them in November. We'll see how that goes. But I also have until through December to finish them, so if I don't get to all of them, that's okay too. But the books that I have left for that challenge are Slowly We Rot by Bryan Smith, Cryptid Carnage, Anthology, put out by Splatter Inc. Publishing, The Tower Hill Terror by Dane Cobain, and Dead Woman Scorned by Michael Clark. So hopefully I'll be able to get to those in November, or at least a couple of them. Okay, so now on to the new readathons. First, I'm so excited that New World's November is back again. Last year I was a co-host. This year I was feeling a bit crunched for time. Didn't feel like I could devote all of my time to this readathon like I would want to if I was a co-host. So I'm going to participate by finishing some of the anthologies that I started last year. And actually it's mostly collections, single author collections, and then one anthology. New World's November was created by the Bookish Bryans. They always have such great reading events that I love to take part in, and week 1's prompt is terrestrial, which is sci-fi stories taking place on Earth. Week 2 is extraterrestrial, sci-fi stories taking place somewhere other than Earth. Week 3 is classics, stories written before 1965. And week 4's prompt is robots and AI. I don't have time to go through all of the stories in all of these books to figure out which stories to read for what prompt and whatever, but I am confident that there will be stories on Earth, not on Earth. I know I have classics, so I'll talk about those. And the only one I'm not sure about is robots and AI, because I read them last year. So we'll see. There's a bunch of sub-categories this year as well, which is just for fun to see how many you can get within those prompts, how many of these sub-prompts you can get as well. And those include alien archaeology, alien romance, translated, alternate world, far future, war, military, genre crossing, first contact, time travel, invasion, humorous, political, and libraries. So now let me tell you about what I'm going to read. I'm going to read the rest of the stories in the I Am Legend collection by Richard Matheson. I only read a few last year. I'm pretty sure they take place on Earth. I mean, I'll see when I get into it. And half of them take place before 1965. It says handy that it says what year they were published in the beginning in the table of contents. So there's half of the stories in here will count for week 3. So that's handy. And these are also great for genre crossing because they are horror sci-fi stories. I'm also going to read the rest of the stories from Bloodchild by Octavia E. Butler. The stories I read last year in this, I loved so much. They were so amazing, and I can't wait to read the rest. Ted Chiang, these are all pretty new stories. All interesting ideas. Then I will dip into the Time Traveler's Almanac. Some of these stories are from before 1965, so some more stories that could fit to that. And if this counts, would also be very genre bending. Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness. Book 1 was Discovery of Witches, and it's the All Souls trilogy. This is a fantasy paranormal romance type book, and the only reason it could possibly be considered science is because it has a bit to do with genealogy, and one of the main characters is a geneticist, but it's fantasy for sure, so I don't know. But the reason I may try to cheat this in here for genre bending story is because I know the first book, a lot of it took place in a library, which is one of the sub prompts. Anyway, I don't know. That's probably not sci-fi enough, is it? The next readathon is Nostalgic November, and this one is hosted by Slime and Slashers, and there are 9 prompts, a bingo board. The prompts are based on 90s nostalgic things, I think, or just nostalgic things before 2000. The first prompt is old tech on the cover or in the story. I'm going with in the story. I'm going to read Memento Mori by Bryan Hauser. This is a word horde novella-ish. It's a novel, but it's pretty short. And this one is about a underground filmmaker that uses the Super 8 camera and film and stuff that seems kind of like an old technology. Then we need a book about books. I'm counting Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness. Lot takes place in a library, scholarly setting. It's about a manuscript. I'm going to call it a book, a nonfiction book for this fantasy world. Okay. Then a book written by a female author, has a female protagonist. This one, female author, and I have another one with a female protagonist. That would count too, but let's see. The fourth prompt is Witches and Magical Elements. It's this one again. Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness has witches. The main character is a witch. And lots of magical elements. Then, to mood read something written before 2000 or is set in the 80s or 90s, I'm going to read a book written before 2000, The Silence of the Lambs by Thomas Harris. Been meaning to read this forever. A book set around Halloween or Christmas. I'm going to finish Harvest Home, which I started in September for a group read. I'm going to finish it. I don't know if it takes place on Halloween, but it does take place in fall because it's called Harvest Home. Nature on the cover. I'm counting The Gravity of Existence by Christina Singh because it has the sun and then like a bed of roses that the woman seems to be sinking into. Beautiful. Then a book about dolls or toys in the book or on the cover. I'm doing both. There's dolls and toys on the cover and in the book. The Toy Thief by D.W. Gillespie. There's like robot, doll, and it's about a creature toy thief stealing this little girl's toys and what she needs to do to stop it. Oh, it sounds so cool. And it's perfect for this prompt. And also, the main character of this one is a little girl, so that could be a female protagonist from the earlier prompt. Then the last one is to read a coming of age or kids versus evil story, and this is a kids versus evil story. So, yay! That's what I'm reading for Nostalgic November. Then the last readathon that I'm going to participate in is Evil-a-thon, which is hosted by Kasha's Book Cemetery, whole month of November as well. And her prompts are all based on 90s movies. The first one is Silence of the Lambs from 1991. The prompt is a book about a killer. So I'm going with The Silence of the Lambs, which is about a killer helping catch a killer. Yeah. And then Event Horizon from 1997, read a sci-fi horror. My Richard Matheson stories will fit that prompt. Blair Witch Project from 1999. Read a book about a legend. Did I find one that was about a legend? Legend. Crap, I don't know if I thought of one with a legend. I am going to be reading that Cryptid Carnage Anthology, if cryptids are legends. I'm not sure if that counts or what. Also, there might be some legends in Richard Matheson stories. I'm struggling here. Something will count. Something will count. That's about where I'm at. Next is The Sixth Sense, 1999. A book about ghosts. I think the closest I have to a ghost story is Dead Woman Scorned by Michael Clark, which is a haunted house trilogy. I'm on book 2. Ring from 1998. A cursed book, one you've maybe had on multiple TBRs, something like that. Silence of the Lambs is that for me. I've had it on a couple TBRs. I've meant to read it for so long. I know I'm gonna probably like it, and somehow I still haven't read it. It's my cursed book. Next is House on Haunted Hill, the remake from 1999, and the prompt is a book about a group of people. Do I have that? I don't even know. I know there's like a group of people working together in this one, like vampire family and the witch family and all that, and some others. There was like a big team coming together at the end of the last book. Candyman from 1992. Insects on the cover. Silence of the Lamb has the death moth, so that's going to be my choice. Audition 1999. A book that's has been recommended to you. I mean, a lot of these have been recommended to me. Probably the most recommended to me were these ones. Silence of the Lambs and Exhalations. And then I Know What You Did Last Summer from 1997. Read a book that's outside your comfort zone or regular reading genre. So I'm going to be reading this, The Poisonwood Bible, which is a historical fiction novel, I believe. And it has a lot of religious elements and is about people on a family on a mission spreading Christianity, and that is just like so out of my comfort zone. But I have heard fabulous things about this book, and it could be good. I'm going to be buddy reading this with Berna from Berna's Bookish Musings as well, and probably a couple other people. She put out a video asking if anyone wanted to read this, and I've been wanting to read it for a long time, so yeah, let's do it. It's definitely out of my comfort zone. And then the last prompt is Scream 1996, watch a scary movie, and I plan on binging a bunch of scary movies on Halloween night, and I have a 4-day weekend coming up, so there will be many horror movies to be had. And I'll tell you about them when I wrap up Evil-a-thon. That is a lot of stuff that I might read. Again, I have planned way too much, and I probably won't get to all of it, but I'm gonna try my hardest, and we'll see how I do. Are you participating in New Worlds November, Evil-a-thon, Nostalgic November? Let me know down below. And if you've read any of these books, love to know what you thought of them. I will have all the information for the readathons and the hosts linked down below, and I will be back very soon with another book related video. Thanks. Bye.